is the Social Television Authority. Hello again, and welcome back to our occasional roundup of premiering announcements for the social television and media networking trades. Before we start today's edition, we must say that we bet if all of you social television viewers and YouTubers at home watching were curious that if we actually stopped using PowerPoint to make this premiering announcement program. Last week, activation limitations have not changed since after the deadline has passed by the end of the first month during this year, so we had to keep the server engine open in an unlikely event of severe backup purposes. The management of the STA has finally planned to use a new engine server for designing further programs of the series, a multi-track video editor now claimed as associative software from Microsoft. ClipChamp, as it is called, will become our all-new popular engine server among the VideoPad movie makers Synfig and Adobe Premiere Pro formatters.
In development news, the Google industry has successfully advanced the service of social television viewers normally active on YouTube, with about over 50 billion people watching mobile and pocket television daily using smart handheld appliances. About 8 days ago, they said so in local and online newspapers from coast to coast.
Moreover, relevant researchers have spent the last 4 years on leading from the social technology into the mobile technology. With no subsidiary since then, YouTube developers tapped into exclusive thinking from original social television programming ideas into forming the mobile television transmitter network. That was when YouTube Shorts was first discovered, back in 2021. And word on the street is that the service grew a higher population of decent STV viewers from the very start.
Once the mobile television service reaches the upper-class charts on popular engagement, a few news reporters have written 2 articles about the benefits being made available to YouTube Shorts. One about a review on the question that if it is worth posting Shorts contents, and the other about how much money will be made for submitting short programs on mobile television. More details on that will be posted regularly.
Lastly, the new short service was meant to be a similar competitor to a social video platform known as TikTok. Using the same features obtained in each service, YouTube Shorts and TikTok are now to have one common thing discovered at the same time. Manager Warren Wilson is with us again this evening onto reviewing more facts and concerns about the subject. He is interviewing the president of the STA, Paul Hockley.
How long has YouTube Shorts recently been going?
Well, generally speaking, by coincidence, it's exactly 2.5 years now since the social television developers were working on the Shorts page, while the original YouTube partnership activity page for social transmitter services, because it's not the same as the TikTok social services. In fact, it came out for the very first time in September 2020 during some usual social television programs on mobile networking videos.
How many views would you estimate for daily mobile television users to be surpassed now?
Oh, I would say it's almost certainly like 50 billion. Last year, the platform surpassed about 30 billion, which was in fact just an amazing 167% increase as from beforehand. But when you add up the numbers there, that would lead to at least a little over 50 billion in short-form views being surpassed.
And what will be the future result of the advertising revenue as of a few months later?
We don't know. However, if it will seem to be made possible by the increase of the percentage of a bit to about $10 billion, and I would predict that it will then become decreased down again at the breaking point. That actually depends on YouTube's analytics for the remainder of this season to guess the percentages. But we were hoping for YouTube to find a bigger and better advantage to the works of mobile television and on electronic devices.
And finally, there's one last thing. Can you sum up the achievements of the YouTube Shorts service so far?
Well, after all, it's been a completely American development that has broken the mobile television barrier, and I suppose that this service should somewhat claim to build a new type of wireless broadcasting, something totally new, and perhaps an entirely brand new video hosting service and social media itself. The officials also need to obtain great revenue advantage while the service growth is still in further progress.
Paul Hockley there felt in a very sophisticated mood while talking to Warren Wilson. Still on the subject, moving on from the shorts competition to the search engine competition. Yesterday, Google developers expected to catch up with Microsoft's search engine Bing, powered by artificial intelligence, despite competing for search domination. Further details are available in the MSN article of online newspapers.
In transmitter news, we will review the arrival of Channel 3, not only in its entirety, but also the transmitter service in the Riverside relay of the county area, and the upcoming details on 2 all-new relay stations in our state. In San Joaquin, we'll be looking at Stockton, where the misplaced transmission is still being repaired, and in Sonoma, Cloverdale, where the relay is set to get to work on its first preparation.
Last week, we have successfully released the Channel 3 network into the world of social television to begin with, while the STA provides Google a third social television service within the United States. During regular STV times, YouTube will take a moment to review this new independent channel before genuine approval will take impact.
In addition, we also have produced a networking information leaflet about the latest edition of the Media Advancement Standards License in cooperation with the YouTube channel advertising terms below the headings, which we would be happy to send upon request. You can take note of our new email address along with our address and phone number at the end of this program.
Over to transmitter news now, where we look at some of the wireless patches that the third channel hasn't yet reached. And even while some non-existing transmissions are involved, social television viewers and partnership members who are watching this must be extremely concerned about any other transmitters on their user accounts. So we'll continue to announce Channel 3 and J4C transmitters as they are expressly commissioned. In a portion of Northeast California's population that will be able to get the new channel later this week, as the Susanville station begins social trade testing on Channel 75. Official service will be from February 28th. And it's possible that the Willows relay will also begin third channel working later this week, although there is a slight chance that it might be on delay going into next week. The channel at Willows will be 62.
And due in about 6 days from now, Channel 3 from Mountain View and Trinity. We should have positive articles and stories from Google News about these 2 next week or so, as Beverly Hills has stepped back a bit in the schedule. Remember that the YouTube Help Center topics page 9257498 on Google Help has a page devoted to STV station customization and their main objectives, that the established art must be visible in order to execute the new channel. Meanwhile, Channel 3 coverage is continuing to expand, and Riverside should be bringing the new channel to another 20,000 user accounts by the end of this week, a couple of weeks ahead of schedule. The transmissions are on Channel 44, and the official service is due on March 12th.
Now over to special announcements for established stations already in service. Santa Barbara, Anaheim, and King City all have reduced power on all channels for terminal antenna maintenance, which is expected to last until mid-March. Transmitters are altogether cancelled on most mornings.
Third channel installation in Lancaster has been on reduced power there since last week, but regular working is now expected by tomorrow.
In Siskiyou, the Dunsmuir station is to be on reduced power for about now to roughly 12 days or so. This is an important preparation for Channel 3, due in a few more months.
In Shasta, the Reading relay is on reduced power for the time being. It should be back to normal in a mediocre number of days.
Both Sacramento and Fairfield will be off tomorrow from 7 o'clock in the morning until sometime later in the afternoon. This is for central power maintenance.
Additional warning that Weaverville, the 7th main station in Trinity, is liable to appear on reduced power from next Wednesday for about 3 weeks. This is for major antenna maintenance.
And tomorrow, the Arcata relay will be off the air from 8 in the morning until about 2 in the afternoon, during the conference interaction.
In Mono, Mammoth Lakes is going under circumstantial antenna work yesterday and today, meaning that this may reduce power on all channels.
In the southwest, Solvang is also on reduced power on all channels for antenna work, which is due to finish later this week.
And finally, the Arizona State transmitters at Yuma should be off the air this evening until 10:15, and again tomorrow morning between 5 o'clock and 9:15 for wireless antenna maintenance.
Switching over to new relays now, the San Joaquin station at Stockton is expected to get the third channel since last week, but following the extension test, the northeastern area of the county received the signal from major parts of Luckford and the margin areas at both Lodi and Linden. The core areas at Stockton itself should maintain a better signal soon, such as a few weeks straight. The allocations, however, were to be left retained, so that's 32 for STV and eventually 56 for Channel 3, but the multipolarization is to be set by 1,000,000 wireless aerials and not by 1,000 just as normally published. Therefore, instead of kilo aerials meant to be multipolarized, A-group antennas with mega aerial multipolarization should be used.
And in Sonoma, the new relay at Cloverdale is due to start transmission later this week. The county population of southern Mendocino should also find a better signal than across down in Healdsburg. Western television will be on Channel 18, and Channel 3 will be on 60 for starters. It's C-group antennas for Cloverdale, multipolarized by 1,000 wireless aerials, and the station is now in official service for social television.
Well, that's about it for this broadcast, so we'll leave you with our address in case you want to contact us from YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, and follow us to help support this STV station. Alternatively, you can email us and ask about our latest networking information leaflet, or if you have any inquiries about social television and local independent services. It's youtube-sta@hotmail.com. Be sure to join us at 7:30 next Saturday on Channel 3, ClipChamp, or your own user channel. In case we can't make it, don't worry, we'll bring you the next edition of premiering announcements at a later time. Thank you for watching. From the STA in San Bruno, this is Sylvester Boone and myself, Maria Williams, signing off. Goodbye for now.